Hi everyone, this is the weekly weather briefing for Thursday, October 17th, 2019 from the National Weather Service office in Atlanta. Our highlights: there's a high potential for tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico in the next 48 hours. As a result, rain chances return this weekend and will continue into early next week. As of right now, there's a low potential for severe weather for the next 3 days, but this could change depending on the evolving track of the potential tropical system. In the last week, drought conditions have persisted or worsened across north and central Georgia, and high and low temperatures will stay at or below normal for the next couple of days, but will then rebound as we head into early next week. So the main weather story right now is that there is a system developing in the Gulf of Mexico that will likely become tropical in the next 48 hours. That chance of further development is 80%, which is high, and this graphic is from the National Hurricane Center. They're forecasting general movement toward the north and east through the next 2 to 5 days. Satellite images show the big area of cloud cover associated with that system. It's 16, marked by the red X, and should it develop enough in a tropical way, it will be named Nestor, which is the next name on the Atlantic hurricane list for this year. Like I mentioned, the general direction of further development and the track will be toward the north and east. And as of right now, the National Hurricane Center is forecasting it to be impacting the Florida Panhandle, portions of southeast Alabama, and southern and central Georgia by around 7 a.m. on Saturday. It'll continue off into the rest of the East Coast, and as of right now, head out to sea. And this is the track, the most updated track from the National Hurricane Center. As far as the most likely arrival time for tropical storm force winds, for central and south Georgia, there's a 40 to 50% chance of tropical storm force winds on Saturday morning. For north Georgia, that chance is about 10 to 30%. And tropical storm force winds, for reference, are anywhere from 39 miles per hour to 73 miles per hour. This is just a probability graphic or product, so this will likely change as the track starts to shift as that system evolves. Here's a closer up look of that probability of tropical storm force winds graphic. This is again for Saturday morning. The greatest chance for winds of tropical storm force will be across central and southern Georgia. That's the shading in the red, which is 30 to 40% chances. A little bit north of that, across the rest of central Georgia, and heading into parts of northeast Georgia, that chance in the yellow is around 10 to 20%, and north of that, the chances are even lower, as this will likely be farther from the center of the system moving through. We talked about wind with the system. Now to talk about rainfall, and not just rainfall this weekend, but through the next 7 days. In the purples, that's rainfall totals of 2 to 2.5 inches. That's for most of north and central Georgia. But for the northeast Georgia mountains and surrounding areas down toward Gainesville, Athens, rainfall totals as of right now could range from 3 to 5 inches through the next 7 days. This rainfall forecast, like the wind forecast, is subject to change as that forecast evolves concerning the track of a system in the Gulf of Mexico, as well as an early week cold front that will move through. We certainly need the rain, that's no secret, as the most recent drought monitor update has shown severe drought expanding across central and southern Georgia. That's in the orange shading. And then extreme drought in the red has expanded across the eastern part of metro Atlanta. All in all, 98% of Georgia is included in D1 or moderate drought conditions or higher. For more information, you can refer to our latest drought information statement. So here's a satellite loop as of 11:10 a.m. this morning. The big cloud area, we call it a cloud shield, that's where that system is beginning to organize, and on the very far outer reaches of it are actually some high-level clouds that are moving over much of Georgia right now. We will be mostly sunny today and dry with that area that's organizing in the Gulf well south down toward the eastern coast of Mexico. As far as those with fire weather concerns, minimum relative humidity today will range from the lower 30s to the upper 30s, and maximum wind gust will range from 10 to 20 miles per hour. High temperatures today, mostly in the low to upper 60s for northern Georgia, even stretching into central western Georgia in places like LaGrange, a high of 69 forecasted, and for points south and east of those areas shaded in the green, that light yellow color is showing temperatures topping out in the low 70s. For tomorrow, slightly more mild for northern Georgia, low 70s to mid 70s for the most part, with those temperatures in the 60s mostly across northeast Georgia and the higher terrain up there. It was a cool, or maybe even some would consider it a chilly morning. This morning and tomorrow morning, Friday morning, will be very similar, with lows ranging from the upper 30s to the mid 40s for much of the area. In fact, there are some possibilities for some areas of patchy frost in protected areas in the northeast Georgia mountains where winds are generally lighter and we could have some frost develop, though again it would be patchy. For Saturday morning, those low temperatures will be a little more mild, mostly 40s for northeast Georgia and mid-upper 50s for lows across the rest of the state. Severe weather outlook. Right now, today and tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center is not showing any chance of thunderstorms. Saturday, right now, there is a possibility of general thunderstorms. These tend to be below severe limits, but that dark green marginal area could be shifted north to include parts of central Georgia, depending on the evolving track of that tropical system in the Gulf. Temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. Right now, the Climate Prediction Center is pretty neutral in terms of chances of below or above average temperatures. What this means is that the weather pattern not necessarily lending itself to either cooler or warmer temperatures, but for central Georgia, there is a slight chance of above average temperatures through the next week or so. Some good news here for the drought. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center is showing that for much of central Georgia, the chance is there for above average rainfall, and that's mostly due to what will likely be that system from the Gulf moving in across Georgia and bringing some very healthy rainfall. So a lot of stuff that we talked about. In summary, there is a high potential for tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico in the next 48 hours. Rain chances will return this weekend and will continue into next week as that system moves in from the Gulf and a cold front pushes through early next week, also sparking some rain. As of right now, there is a low potential for severe weather for the next 3 days, but this could change depending on the evolving track of that system in the Gulf. Drought conditions persist or worsen across north and central Georgia recently, and high and low temperatures will be at or below normal for the next couple of days, but will be rebounding early next week. A special word here about special webinars. These will be starting tomorrow or Friday at 12:30 p.m. This will be through GoToMeeting. Depending on the evolution of the potential tropical system, additional webinars are possible this weekend. And as always, email updates will be sent as needed between webinars to get you all the most updated information about the evolving forecast for the system in the Gulf of Mexico. As always, please feel free to connect with us. Our phone number is listed there on the screen, as is our briefing page, where both the PDF and PowerPoint versions of this webinar will be posted. On the web, you can always find updated forecast graphics and location-specific forecasts. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and would be glad to interact with you and answer any questions you have. And here shortly, we'll have this video uploaded to our YouTube page where you can watch it. Thanks so much, everyone. Hope you have a great Thursday and a great weekend ahead.